Hi guys, I have a good title today. It's What the Heck is Leaky Gut? If you go to your gastroenterologist and you say to him, I might have a leaky gut, he's going to look at you with the funniest look you ever saw because he doesn't know what this is and he certainly doesn't believe it. Now I want to tell you what it is because it is something real and it's everywhere. Probably most of us to some degree have leaky gut. Now, if we look at, this is the small intestine. So your mouth is up here, food goes through your esophagus, it goes into your stomach, and then it goes into your small intestine. The small intestine is about 22 to 25 feet long, so it's a big long tube that's all coiled up in your belly. Its job is to digest the food that comes from your stomach, which means break it down into small pieces and then absorb it so that it can actually get into your body. Now, the lining of the small intestine is literally only one cell thick. Now, cells aren't very big. They're measured in microns, like really small. And they're only one cell thick. And on the other side of the cells of the lining of the small intestine, there are blood vessels so that when the food comes through, digested, it goes into the blood vessels and then we get them into our body and that food can go to our cells. Now, if you say, let's say you had a steak for lunch and that steak is muscle, and muscle is made up of smaller units called amino acids. Now, there's 22 amino acids, and if you put them together in a very long chain in a very specific order, you get muscle. Now, an average muscle fiber, one single fiber, has about 6,100 amino acids. And if that fiber, that big long fiber, which is made up of all these amino acids, goes to this cell, it won't take it. It's too big. And it has to go through the cell to get into the body. So digestion occurs, so enzymes, starting in the stomach and then in the small intestine, break down that long fiber into individual, just going to call X, Y, Z, 6,100 of them, amino acids. And those amino acids, if they go to this cell will say, yep, come on in, pass it through, and then it's in the bloodstream. And when those amino acids then travel to our muscle cells have to reassemble that back into 6,100 amino acids in a chain of muscle. Pretty good trick, right? Like a puzzle, like 22 amino acids now rearranged into a chain that's 6,100 long, and that's one muscle fiber. Now, in our body, there's over 50,000 different proteins. So this is going on all the time by every cell in the body, constantly. Now, if these cells get poisoned, let's say you have some GMO corn tortillas for breakfast. Okay? You go to your regular store, virtually all the corn, unless it says organic, is genetically modified corn. It's been soaked in Roundup, glyphosate, and when you eat the corn, you get the glyphosate. And what does glyphosate do? The glue that holds these cells together, it disintegrates it. It breaks it open. And now, there's a hole here. And now this big chain can go through. That's leaky gut. Now, there also may be bacteria and parasites and funguses, and they can go through too, and they can get in your bloodstream. Now, on the way through, the major part of the immune system is between the inner wall and the blood vessel. And this is called gut-associated lymphoid tissue, or Peyer's patches. You've heard that 3/4 of the immune system is around the small intestine. That's where it is. It's right there, along this 22 feet, because this is the most vulnerable area that the body has of stuff getting in. And when it sees a foreign protein, like a steak fiber or like a bacteria, it reacts against it and it starts to attack it. And that attack sometimes those proteins can sometimes get into our bloodstream, and they can start to attack us because our stuff looks kind of like that. Our muscle fibers aren't very different than steak muscle or chicken muscle. And if you have muscle pain, if you get joint pain after you have a meal, it's what's happening is that these things are getting across and your immune system is targeting them. And then it's seeing similar things in your body, which it's also targeting. And the whole thing that happens with autoimmune disease is this. But the leaky gut part of it is, it's these things get penetrated. And there are actual lab tests where you can prove, yes, there's things coming through that shouldn't get through. You can give someone that is a sugar that isn't digestible and it shouldn't come through, and you can give someone a meal of this sugar, and then you can measure the level in the blood of that sugar, and it proves that the sugar got in the blood, and you can prove this. We don't usually bother with it because generally it's easy to know. Now, glyphosate can do that, but so can bugs. Like organisms. Our food's not sterile. When we eat, these things come into our body. Bacteria come in our body and funguses come in our body. Virtually all drugs cause leaky gut. Antibiotics cause leaky gut. Steroids cause leaky gut. Blood pressure medicines cause leaky gut. So we have an epidemic in this country right now of leaky gut because our guts are being assaulted with chemicals that break down this glue that holds it together. That glue is called zonulin. And when people have leaky gut, you can see the zonulin levels start to go way up in the stool because it's not stable anymore. So what can you do? Avoid all drugs. Unless it's an emergency of disastrous effects, avoid all drugs. If you're already on a medication, then get with your natural doctor to see if you can get off the medication in a safe manner so that you can reduce your chances of this. Eat organic foods. They really make a difference. They're expensive. It's a pain. I understand. But you don't want pesticides coming into your gut that are going to tear open your gut and give you a leaky gut. So eat organic. It's really important. And make your meats as organic as you can get. Your eggs, everything. Try to eat as organic as you can. I know that if all of us decide to eat organic, the powers that be are going to start producing organic food in bulk. The cost will come down and it'll be better for everyone. And if nobody buys that food, they're going to stop making glyphosate because it'll be a bad business, and those guys are in it for business. And just like Amazon bought Whole Foods, why they do it? Because it's good business. I'm sure they don't have any sort of moral or whatever about it. It's good business. So we want to create good businesses with things that are healthy for people, and why not? It's a good thing. Okay? So avoid pesticides and chemicals. Alcohol produces leaky gut. I know how good it is to have a glass of red wine at night, and it really tastes good, but it's a poison. Why do you feel tippy? Because your brain's being poisoned. So if you want to really be healthy, I would do it very minimally or not at all, because it actually isn't good for you. And the burn that you feel, it's making holes in your gut, in your stomach. It's causing damage. It's causing injury. Now I know, pleasure is pleasure, but just saying, okay? So leaky gut is a breakdown of the inner lining of your gut. So there is a very nice product, which I don't sell and I'm not a part of, called Restore, which you can buy in the health food stores. And It's the only thing that I know of that if you take it, seals up your leaky gut. And so you take a teaspoon before each meal, and it will seal your leaky gut. And if you go to the website on it, you can see some very elegant experiments that were done to show that you put glyphosate on this membrane, it opens. You put Restore on it, and it closes. So it's a way for us to try to stay ahead of this thing, because it is very hard to eat everything organic and never go out and do all this thing. I understand. I have a life too. But the better we do at it, the better we can get. So leaky gut is handleable, and the best thing is organic food and the right kind of supplements. And then if you're really having trouble with your gut or some kind of autoimmune condition, is get with a natural practitioner who works with this kind of thing. And there is a whole bunch of supplements that we give people like this that can help so that you get a better blend of bacteria in your gut. And where if you have bad bacteria in your gut, that you can take safe things that will get rid of them, or yeasts where you can reduce their numbers and get more of a healthy environment there. And there's things like colostrum, which can also help regenerate this membrane, and where you can actually fix this so that you feel better. So if you've got bloating, gas, heartburn, diarrhea, constipation, IBS, colitis, for sure you have leaky gut. And a natural practitioner who understands this can really help you. So what should you do? Everything I just told you. Okay? Have a good day.